What the What's going on, everyone? We got a brand new movie review for you guys today, and today we're going to be discussing Ari Aster's brand new film, MIDSOMMAR. Of course, if you guys are new here, make sure to like and subscribe button for all sorts of early movie reviews like this one and Spider-Man Far From Home later this week. Plus, you guys can also go over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. Summer is from the director who did Hereditary, which last year, Hereditary kind of blew my mind. I was very much frightened the first time I walked out of that theater, not knowing what to expect, not seeing a trailer for that movie, and I kind of treated MIDSOMMAR the same way. I didn't really know what to expect from this movie, but seriously, what the It's one of the biggest ways that I can explain this film. Don't worry though, there won't be any spoilers. Even if I tried to explain the film, it would be a little bit hard to. And this movie for sure is not for everyone. Like, this is one of the most unique films that I have truly ever seen, and one of the most unique theater experiences that I've ever had before. I think the thing that I can explain this film is that this is not a horror film. I even go as far to say Hereditary really wasn't a horror film. It was kind of a drama that had horror elements to it, and within this movie, this is more of a new type of genre that I've, again, kind of never seen. The best way to describe Ari Aster's new artwork that he's created for us, it is a psychological fantasy folklore. That is the best way that I can truly explain this movie, because it does feel like a fantasy. It feels like a dream, a really messed up dream that you are currently watching on the screen as it plays out in some of the most grotesque and most odd ways. One of the things that we have to acclaim Ari Aster's craftsmanship as he takes a couple who travels to Sweden to visit a hometown that is fabled, this midsummer festival, and what begins as a weird kind of retreat starts to become even weirder as certain elements come about. The way that he crafts this story, again, isn't just like him painting something that's so unique and wild, but it's from the camera, the way that he swings the camera, the way that he gets performances, and the way that he's so well at placing you in the shoes of our main protagonists. I felt like I was truly there, experiencing every single thing that they were going along with. This film has some weird and wicked humor to it that actually really fits for the tone of this movie. Also still fit in that same folklore tone, which you wouldn't really have expected. But it's because he makes you feel there that even when these jokes hit, even though the characters aren't laughing, you're kind of laughing because you're like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And you exactly feel that way throughout the whole entire movie. No matter when a character talks, it doesn't feel out of line of that character, because it does feel like something that you would feel and say. And there's at least one character through this group that you travel along with that you are probably going to be relating to the most. What Ari Aster truly has to say about relationships inside of this movie is to another level. I don't want to get into what I think it totally means, because I think it would kind of go out to be spoilers, but there are some unique things that he places inside this movie. Actually turning around more on that, not just relationships does he touch on, but he also touches on just the state of humanity and certain elements that humans go through, which again, he did so well in Hereditary. Whatever you thought of that film, I think that's something that a lot of us can agree on. So we got to talk about the cast. Last year, Hereditary featured one of the best performances from Toni Collette. This year, we have Florence Pugh, who has been having such a fantastic last 8 months. Every single time she plays into a role, into a movie, she is always the all-star, no matter what movie it is, and MIDSOMMAR is no doubt about it. She gives probably one of the strongest performances of this year. It's one of those performances that really sticks and ingrains inside your mind. Two other actors we truly have to give a big shout out to is Jack Renner, who I've always kind of really liked him. The last thing I truly saw him in was Sing Street, and I thought he was really good as a side character, but being one of the main protagonists in here, he is truly one of the characters that we follow along, and I truly related to the most, because I have a friend who I feel like would relate in the same way, and some of the stuff that he says, my friend would have said too. Will Poulter's also in this film, and can we talk about how this guy went from We're the Millers to MIDSOMMAR? Like, my God, he is one of the best actors working today, and his performance in here isn't captured as well, and pretty much how I would be if I ended up there. This film is, again, jaw-dropping. It's truly a fantasy, where it dives down through the score, to the way that Ari Aster frames each and every scene, from the cinematography, from each and every moment. Just like Hereditary last year, where it was framed like a dollhouse in certain moments, there's a lot of things in here where this movie is framed like certain elements, like art house work being framed in front of you, and there's a couple different instances where that ties into the story with the beautiful landscape that we've seen all through here. Ari Aster has truly cemented himself as one of the most unique people people working today in filmmaking. I truly think a lot of filmmakers are going to look at this movie and be like, man, I'm jealous that I cannot do that. Because as someone who wants to direct later down the road, I'm looking at this and I'm like, how did he pull off multiple things throughout this whole movie? From the production design, from the cinematography, from the way that he moves the camera, the way that he gets performances, the way that his creative mind just worked while forming the script for this is all just jaw-dropping. If I had any cons to this movie, the one nitpick I have is that I definitely need to see this film again. Because the last third act, probably the last 25 to 30 minutes, is a little bit different. I was truly locked into those first two acts, and something happens in the third act that I wasn't like off board on, but it's something that I need to go back in and rewatch. And kind of talking about it with myself and other people, I've kind of come to understand what the ending was saying, but also still have a lot to learn and know about what has happened inside this movie. Mind trip. In fact, it felt like you took acid at one point in time while watching this movie. It is the pure definition of a psychological fantasy folklore. That is the pure definition for MIDSOMMAR, and it is truly one of the most unique films, not of just this year, but of the last couple years. If you truly want to see something different, and you're one of those people who say, oh, they don't make original films anymore, this is an original film. Open your mind up, open yourself up, and go inside and enjoy this film for what it is. It's not a horror film. It's nothing to that manner. It's not scary. In fact, it's just itself. There's nothing you can compare this film to. So with all that said, I'm going to give MIDSOMMAR an A. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on MIDSOMMAR. Are you guys excited for this film? Are you not? Did you like Hereditary? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. And of course, if you guys are new here, make sure that like and subscribe button for all sorts of early movie reviews like this and Spider-Man Far From Home coming up soon. And also go over to Sandwich on Films to how you guys can see films early. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.